The Galactic Initiative. In the vast expanse of the Andromeda Galaxy, the Zirenari civilization had long reigned as the pinnacle of technological advancement. Their homeworld, Zirenar Prime, was a gleaming jewel of efficiency and order, its towering spires of crystalline alloys stretching towards the stars. For millennia, the Zirenari had catalogued, studied, and occasionally guided the evolution of countless species across their galactic neighborhood. At the heart of their scientific endeavors stood the Cosmic Evolutionary Nexus, or CEN, a planet-sized supercomputer of unparalleled processing power. Its quantum cores pulsed with the collective knowledge of 1,000,000 worlds, simulating the intricate dance of evolution across time and space. Lead scientist Ixora Vex stood before the CEN's holographic interface, her iridescent scales shimmering with anticipation. Her large, multifaceted eyes reflected the swirling data streams that surrounded her. "Initiate the next evolutionary simulation," she commanded, her voice a melodic trill. The air hummed with energy as the CEN began its calculations. Ixora and her team had spent decades perfecting their algorithms, accounting for every conceivable variable in the cosmic tapestry of life. From the simplest single-celled organisms to the most complex sentient beings, the CEN could predict with astonishing accuracy how life would evolve under any given set of circumstances. Simulation running smoothly, lead scientist Vex reported her assistant, Zix. The younger Zirenari's tendrils twitched with excitement. "We're currently processing the evolutionary patterns of Sector G789, as per the Galactic Initiative protocols." The Galactic Initiative was the Zirenari's most ambitious project to date. Its goal was to map and understand the evolutionary potential of every habitable world in the Andromeda Galaxy. With this knowledge, they believed they could foster the growth of new civilizations, prevent extinction events, and perhaps even elevate themselves to a new plane of existence. As the simulation progressed, holographic representations of various alien species flickered into existence around them. Some were familiar: the silicon-based crystallines of Theta Persei, the gaseous nebulites of the Carina Nebula. Others were entirely new, products of the CEN's predictive algorithms. Ixora moved gracefully among the projections, her tendrils occasionally reaching out to manipulate the data. "Fascinating," she murmured, observing a particularly unusual species that had evolved to harness the power of magnetic fields. "The diversity of life never ceases to amaze me." Suddenly, an alert chimed through the chamber. Zix's tendrils curled in concern as he quickly assessed the incoming data. "Lead scientist, we've encountered an anomaly in Sector S215. Ixora glided over to Zix's station, her brow furrowing. "Show me." The holographic display shifted, zooming in on a spiral galaxy at the edge of their mapped territory. A single yellow star came into focus, orbited by an unremarkable blue-green planet. "What am I looking at, Zix?" Ixora asked, her curiosity piqued. "This is the third planet of the star system humans call Sol," Zix explained. "We've been running evolutionary simulations on this world, but the results are inconsistent." Ixora's tendrils twitched with interest. "Inconsistent how?" Zix manipulated the controls, bringing up a series of data charts. "Every time we run the simulation, we get wildly different outcomes. Sometimes the dominant species remains aquatic, other times they develop flight. But in a statistically improbable number of scenarios, we see the emergence of a bipedal tool-using species that rapidly advances technologically." "That's not unusual," Ixora noted. "Many worlds produce tool users." "True," Zix agreed, "but the speed of their advancement is unprecedented. And there's more." He hesitated, his scales flickering with uncertainty. "In some simulations, this species, they achieve interstellar travel." Ixora's tendrils went rigid with shock. "Impossible. The evolutionary timeline is far too short for such an advancement." "I know," Zix said, his voice low. "That's why I brought it to your attention. The CEN, it's having trouble processing the variables. We've had to restart the simulation multiple times due to system overloads. Ixora's mind raced. In all her centuries of research, she had never encountered a species that could confound the CEN's predictive abilities. "Show me the actual evolutionary history of this world," she commanded. The holographic display shifted again, this time showing a timeline of Earth's history. Ixora watched in fascination as life emerged from the primordial oceans, diversified, suffered mass extinctions, and rebounded. And then, in an evolutionary eye blink, a species of primate descended from the trees, stood upright, and began to change the face of their world. Incredible, Ixora breathed. Their rate of technological advancement is exponential, from stone tools to spaceflight in mere millennia. Zix nodded, his tendrils twisting nervously. Yes, and that's not all. Look at this. He brought up a new set of data, showing genetic information. Their DNA. It's unlike anything we've seen before. The potential for variation, for adaptation, it's off the charts. Ixora stared at the display, her scientific mind struggling to process the implications. This species, these humans, they defy every model we've built. Their potential is uncertain. For a moment, silence fell over the chamber. The CEN hummed quietly in the background, its vast intelligence grappling with the puzzle of human evolution. Finally, Ixora spoke, her voice filled with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. "Zix, I want all available resources redirected to studying this species. We need to understand how they've achieved such rapid advancement, and more importantly, what it means for our understanding of evolution itself." Zix nodded, already beginning to input the new commands. "What about the Galactic Initiative, lead scientist? Should we pause the other simulations?" Ixora considered for a moment, her gaze fixed on the holographic representation of Earth. "No," she decided. "The initiative continues. But this becomes our primary focus. There's something special about these humans, Zix. Something that could change everything we thought we knew about life in the universe." As the CEN began its deep analysis of human evolution, Ixora couldn't shake the feeling that they were standing on the precipice of a profound discovery. The humans, with their inexplicable ability to defy the Zirinary's carefully constructed models, represented a mystery that demanded to be solved. Little did Ixora know that this mystery would lead her and her entire civilization on a journey that would challenge their most fundamental beliefs about the nature of life, intelligence, and their place in the cosmos. The study of humanity was about to open doors to possibilities that even the advanced Zirinary had never dreamed of. As the first day of their new research initiative drew to a close, Ixora gazed out at the glittering skyline of Zirinar Prime. Somewhere out there, on a small blue planet orbiting an unremarkable yellow star, a species of bipedal primates was rewriting the rules of evolution, and Ixora was determined to understand how. Human anomaly. The corridors of the cosmic evolutionary nexus buzzed with an energy not seen in centuries. News of the human anomaly had spread rapidly through the ranks of Zirinary scientists, igniting a fervor of curiosity and debate. Ixora Vex found herself at the center of this intellectual storm, her days now consumed by the puzzle that was human evolution. 3 lunar cycles had passed since the initial discovery, and the CEN had been operating at maximum capacity, running simulation after simulation of Earth's evolutionary history. Yet with each iteration, the supercomputer's results grew more erratic, more unpredictable. Ixora stood before the main control panel, her tendrils twitching with a mixture of frustration and excitement. "Run it again, Zix," she commanded, her voice tinged with determination. Zix, looking noticeably fatigued, input the commands. The holographic display sprang to life, showcasing Earth's timeline once more. As before, the simulation progressed smoothly through the planet's early history. The formation of continents, the emergence of simple life forms, the rise and fall of the dinosaurs. But as soon as the simulation reached the era of human evolution, warning signals began to flash across the interface. "Another crash," Six reported, his tendrils drooping. That's the 17th attempt today. Ixora's multifaceted eyes narrowed as she studied the error messages. It doesn't make sense, she muttered. We've simulated the evolution of millions of species across the galaxy. What makes humans so different? As if in response to her question, a new alert chimed through the chamber. One of the junior scientists, a young Zirenari named Elix, rushed over, her scales flickering with excitement. Lead scientist Vex, we've made a breakthrough in the genetic analysis. Ixora turned her attention to Elix, her tendrils perking up with interest. Show me. Elix quickly brought up a new display, showcasing a complex strand of human DNA. We've been focusing on the wrong aspects, she explained, her words tumbling out in a rush. It's not just about the genetic code itself, but how it's expressed. As Elix delved into the details of her discovery, Ixora felt a sense of awe growing within her. The human genome, it seemed, possessed an unprecedented level of plasticity. Genes that in other species would remain dormant could, in humans, be activated by environmental factors, leading to rapid adaptations within a single lifetime. This changes everything, Ixora breathed, her mind racing with the implications. No wonder the CEN is struggling. It's not equipped to handle this level of genetic flexibility. Zix, who had been listening intently, chimed in. But lead scientist, if this is true, how do we account for it in our simulations? The variables are practically infinite. Ixora was about to respond when suddenly, the entire chamber shuddered. Warning klaxons blared as the holographic displays flickered and distorted. What's happening? Ixora demanded, her tendrils whipping about in alarm. Zix's appendages flew over the control panel. It's the CEN, he reported, his voice tight with concern. It's overloading. The human simulations are consuming more processing power than we thought possible. As the Zirenari scientists scrambled to stabilize their supercomputer, Ixora felt a mix of emotions she had never experienced before. Fear, certainly. The CEN was the culmination of millennia of Zirenari advancement, and its loss would be catastrophic. But beneath that fear was a growing sense of excitement. Whatever was causing this overload, it was something entirely new, entirely unexpected. After several tense minutes, the alarms finally ceased. The CEN, while stable, had automatically shut down all simulations related to human evolution. In the sudden quiet, Ixora made a decision. Zix, Elix, she said, her voice carrying the weight of authority. Assemble a team. We need to completely redesign our approach. Over the next several cycles, Ixora and her team worked tirelessly, pushing the boundaries of their scientific understanding. They delved deep into the intricacies of human biology, psychology, and social structures, seeking to understand the forces that had shaped this enigmatic species. What they found both thrilled and terrified them. Humans, it seemed, were not just products of their genetics, but of their experiences, their cultures, their choices. The CEN, designed to calculate based on hard data and predictable patterns, simply couldn't account for the wild card that was human free will. Look at this, Elix said one day, bringing up a historical simulation. Even when faced with near-extinction events, humans don't just survive. They innovate. They create new technologies, new social structures. They adapt in ways that defy all logical prediction. Zix, who had been growing more and more fascinated by the humans, added, and it's not just about survival. They create art, music, literature, often for no discernible evolutionary advantage. Ixora nodded, her mind whirling with new theories. It's as if their entire species is driven by some collective desire to transcend their limitations, to become more than what they are. As the research progressed, the Zirenari found themselves facing questions they had never before considered. What role did consciousness play in evolution? How did abstract concepts like culture and belief influence genetic expression? And perhaps most disturbingly, were the Zirenari's own evolutionary algorithms fundamentally flawed? The implications were staggering. If the human's path of evolution was as unpredictable as it seemed, it meant that the entire basis of the Galactic Initiative, the idea that evolution could be accurately modeled and predicted, was built on a flawed assumption. Ixora, in a moment of quiet reflection, found herself staring at a holographic image of Earth. This small blue planet, teeming with life that defied explanation, had upended everything she thought she knew about the universe. "We need to know more," she decided, her tendrils curling with determination. "It's time we made direct contact." The proposal, when presented to the Zurinary High Council, was met with a mixture of skepticism and alarm. Direct contact with a potentially volatile species was not to be taken lightly. But Ixora's argument was compelling. Without first-hand observation and interaction, they would never truly understand the human anomaly. After much debate, the council agreed, but with a condition. The contact would be covered, with a small team of Zurinary scientists disguising themselves to live among the humans undetected. As preparations for the mission began, Ixora couldn't shake a feeling of profound anticipation. The humans, with their inexplicable ability to defy prediction, their capacity for rapid adaptation and innovation, represented more than just a scientific curiosity. They were a mirror, forcing the Zurinary to question their own place in the cosmic order. Whatever they discovered on Earth, Ixora knew, would change the course of both their civilizations forever. As she looked out at the star-studded sky, her thoughts turned to that distant blue planet and the beings that called it home. Soon, very soon, they would have their answers. But even as hope and excitement filled her, a small part of Ixora wondered, were they truly ready for what they might find? Investigation and discovery. The pale blue dot of Earth grew larger in the view screen as the Zurinary stealth ship approached its destination. Ixora Vex stood at the helm, her iridescent scales shimmering with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. Beside her, Zix and Elix made final adjustments to their holographic disguises, which would allow them to blend seamlessly with the human population. "Remember," Ixora cautioned, her voice low, "our primary objective is observation. We must minimize our impact on human society while gathering as much data as possible." As their ship entered Earth's atmosphere under the cover of night, Ixora couldn't help but marvel at the planet's beauty. The lights of human civilization twinkled below, a testament to the species' remarkable spread across their world. The team established their base of operations in a nondescript apartment in a bustling metropolis. From here, they would venture out daily, immersing themselves in human culture and gathering first-hand data on the species that had confounded their most advanced simulations. Their first few weeks on Earth were a whirlwind of new experiences and startling revelations. The Zurinary team found themselves continuously amazed by the diversity and complexity of human society. One day, while observing a group of children in a park, Elix made a fascinating discovery. "Look at how quickly they learn," she whispered to Ixora, gesturing towards a young girl who had just mastered riding a bicycle after numerous falls. "Their neural plasticity is incredible. They adapt and overcome challenges at a rate that far exceeds our predictions." Zix, who had been analyzing human social structures, added his own observations. "And it's not just their individual adaptability. Their social systems are in a constant state of flux. They form alliances, break them, and reform them with astonishing speed. It's chaotic, yet somehow functional." As the days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, the Zurinary researchers found themselves growing increasingly fascinated by human creativity and innovation. They attended art exhibitions, concerts, and scientific lectures, each experience adding new layers to their understanding of this enigmatic species. One evening, as they sat in a crowded auditorium listening to a human scientist discuss the possibility of interstellar travel, Ixora felt a shiver run down her spine. The theories being presented were primitive by Zurinary standards, yet the passion and imagination behind them were undeniable. "They dreamed so big," she murmured to her companions. "Even with their limited technology, They're already reaching for the stars. But it wasn't all wonder and admiration. The Zirenari also witnessed the darker aspects of human nature: conflict, prejudice, environmental destruction. These observations led to heated debates among the team about the true nature of human evolution. How can a species capable of such beauty also be responsible for such devastation? Elix wondered one night as they watched news reports of ongoing wars and environmental crises. Zix, who had been studying human history, offered a perspective. Perhaps it's this very duality that drives their evolution. The constant struggle between their higher aspirations and baser instincts seems to push them to evolve, both as individuals and as a species. Ixora nodded thoughtfully. It's a volatile combination. Their capacity for both creation and destruction, their ability to adapt rapidly to new challenges. It's no wonder our simulations couldn't predict their evolutionary path. As their mission progressed, the team made a groundbreaking discovery that would reshape their understanding of human evolution. While analyzing genetic samples collected from various human populations, they uncovered something extraordinary. "Look at this," Elix exclaimed one day, her tendrils twitching with excitement as she brought up a holographic display of human DNA. There are sections of their genome that appear to be self-modifying. Ixora and Zix crowded around the display, their multifaceted eyes wide with astonishment. "It's as if their DNA is in a constant state of flux," Zix marveled, responding not just to environmental pressures, but to abstract concepts, ideas, beliefs, even emotions. Ixora's mind raced with the implications. This changes everything. It's not just random mutation and natural selection driving their evolution. They're actively participating in their own genetic destiny, even if they're not consciously aware of it. The discovery sent shockwaves through the Zirenari scientific community back on their homeworld. It challenged their fundamental understanding of evolutionary processes and raised profound questions about the nature of consciousness and its role in shaping the physical form. But even as they grappled with these monumental revelations, the Zirenari team on Earth found themselves facing an unexpected challenge: their own changing perspectives. Living among humans, observing their daily lives, their struggles and triumphs, had begun to affect the Zirenari in ways they hadn't anticipated. They found themselves becoming emotionally invested in human stories, empathizing with their joys and sorrows. One day, as they watched a human couple share a tender moment in a park, Elix turned to Ixora with a troubled expression. I think I'm starting to understand them. Not just intellectually, but emotionally. Is that possible? Ixora, who had been experiencing similar feelings, nodded slowly. I believe it is. And I think it might be the key to truly understanding their evolution. As their mission neared its end, the Zirenari team prepared to return to their homeworld with their groundbreaking findings. But Ixora knew that the data they had collected, as valuable as it was, only scratched the surface of the human mystery. In their final report to the High Council, Ixora made a bold proposal. To fully understand human evolution, she argued, we need to do more than just observe. We need to engage, to collaborate, to learn from them directly. Her suggestion was met with shock and skepticism from many council members. Direct interaction with a less advanced species went against centuries of Zirenari protocol. But Ixora was adamant. The humans have shown us that evolution is not just about adapting to the environment, she said, her voice ringing with conviction. It's about imagination, creativity, the will to transcend limitations. If we truly want to advance our own understanding of the universe, we need to learn from them. As the council deliberated, Ixora and her team waited anxiously. Their experiences on Earth had changed them profoundly, opening their eyes to new possibilities and challenging their most deeply held beliefs about the nature of life and evolution. Whatever the council decided, one thing was certain. Their encounter with humanity had set both species on a new evolutionary path, one that would lead them into uncharted territory, full of both peril and promise. As Ixora gazed out at the Earth one last time before their departure, she couldn't help but feel a sense of anticipation. The next chapter in this cosmic story was about to begin, and its outcome would shape the destiny of both their civilizations for eons to come. The human factor. The grand hall of the Zirenari High Council buzzed with tension as Ixora Vex stood before the assembled leaders of her civilization. Her proposal for direct collaboration with humans had sparked fierce debate among her peers. Now, after weeks of deliberation, the council was ready to deliver its verdict. High Counselor Zorn, his scales a deep shade of wisdom blue, rose to address the gathering. Lead Scientist Vex, he began, his voice reverberating through the chamber. Your discoveries on Earth have shaken the very foundations of our understanding. After much consideration, we have decided to approve your proposal for collaborative research with the humans. A ripple of murmurs swept through the audience. Ixora's tendrils quivered with a mixture of relief and excitement. However, Zorn continued, raising a limb for silence. This collaboration must be conducted with the utmost caution. We will reveal ourselves to a select group of human scientists, chosen for their expertise and discretion. The fate of both our species may well rest on the outcome of this endeavor. As Ixora and her team began preparations for their return to Earth, news of the impending first contact spread rapidly through human scientific circles. Dr. Amelia Chen, a brilliant geneticist known for her groundbreaking work in epigenetics, found herself at the center of this whirlwind. This is unprecedented, Amelia mused to her colleague, Dr. Raj Patel, as they prepared their lab for the arrival of their extraterrestrial visitors. To think, we're about to meet beings from another world, and they're here to study us. Raj, an astrophysicist with a keen interest in exobiology, nodded excitedly. It's like every sci-fi novel come to life. But instead of invading, they want to collaborate. I wonder what they look like. Their questions were soon answered as Ixora and her team materialized in the secure facility designated for the joint research project. The human scientists gasped in awe at the sight of the iridescent, tentacled beings before them. Ixora stepped forward, her multifaceted eyes taking in the mix of emotions on the human faces. "Greetings, Earth scientists," she said, her words translated through an advanced device. "We come seeking knowledge and offering the same in return." The initial meetings were a flurry of questions, explanations, and shared discoveries. The humans were astounded by the advanced technology and vast knowledge of the Zirenari, while the aliens found themselves continually surprised by the intuitive leaps and unconventional thinking of their human counterparts. As the collaboration progressed, both species began to gain new insights into the nature of evolution and consciousness. Dr. Chen's work on epigenetics proved particularly valuable, providing a bridge between the Zirenari's observations of human genetic plasticity and the role of environment and experience in shaping genetic expression. It's as if your DNA is in a constant dialogue with your experiences, Ixora explained to the human team one day, her tendrils gesticulating excitedly. Every thought, every emotion, every choice you make can potentially influence your genetic makeup. Dr. Patel, who had been analyzing data from the Zirenari's evolutionary simulations, added his own insights. And it's not just on an individual level. Our collective consciousness, our shared experiences as a species, seem to be driving our evolution in ways we never imagined. The implications of these discoveries were staggering. It suggested that consciousness itself was a fundamental force in the universe, capable of shaping physical reality at the most basic level. But as the research progressed, unexpected challenges arose. The very unpredictability that made humans so fascinating to study also made them difficult partners. Conflicts erupted over research methodologies, ethical considerations, and the potential applications of their discoveries. One particularly heated debate centered around the question of whether humans should have access to the Zirenari's advanced genetic modification technology. "Think of the potential benefits," argued Dr. Chen passionately. "We could eradicate genetic diseases, enhance our cognitive abilities, maybe even extend our lifespans dramatically." Ixora, however, was hesitant. Your species is still grappling with the ethical implications of your current level of genetic engineering. Introducing our technology prematurely could have disastrous consequences. The disagreement threatened to derail the entire project until Dr. Patel proposed a compromise. What if, he suggested, instead of giving us the technology outright, you help us understand the principles behind it? Guide us in developing our own methods at a pace that allows us to consider the ethical implications every step of the way. This approach proved to be a turning point in the collaboration. It highlighted the unique strengths of both species, the Zirenary's vast knowledge and cautious approach, balanced by human creativity and adaptability. As the months turned into years, the joint research team made breakthrough after breakthrough. They developed new models of evolutionary dynamics that could account for the influence of consciousness and collective belief systems. They uncovered hidden links between quantum mechanics and genetic expression, opening up entirely new fields of study. But perhaps the most profound impact was on the individuals involved in the project. The humans found their perspectives expanded beyond anything they had imagined. Their understanding of their place in the universe fundamentally altered. For the Zirenary, the changes were even more dramatic. Prolonged exposure to human unpredictability and emotional expressiveness began to unlock dormant aspects of their own psyche. They found themselves experiencing a wider range of emotions, thinking in more flexible and creative ways. Ixora, in particular, underwent a profound transformation. One day, as she was working late in the lab with Dr. Chen, she found herself overwhelmed by a sudden rush of emotion. "Amelia," she said, using the human's first name for the first time. I think I finally understand what it means to hope, to dream." These concepts, they were always just abstract ideas to us before, but now, I feel them. Dr. Chen smiled warmly, placing a hand on Ixora's tentacle in a gesture of friendship. "Welcome to the human experience, Ixora. It's messy and complicated, but it's beautiful too." As news of the collaboration's successes began to spread, both human and Zirenary societies grappled with the implications. The possibility of open contact between the two species loomed on the horizon, promising to reshape the galactic order in ways no one could fully predict. Ixora, standing at the precipice of this new era, felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. The humans had proven to be more than just an evolutionary anomaly. They were partners, friends, and perhaps the key to unlocking the next stage of cosmic evolution. As she gazed out at the star-filled sky, Ixora realized that their journey was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning. The universe, it seemed, had far more surprises in store for both their species. Paradigm shift. The grand auditorium of the United Nations headquarters in New York City buzzed with an energy unlike any in human history. Representatives from every nation on Earth sat side by side with a delegation of Zirenary, their iridescent scales a stark contrast to the somber suits of their human counterparts. On the stage, Ixora Vex stood alongside Dr. Amelia Chen, preparing to address the world. As the cameras rolled, broadcasting this historic moment to billions across the globe, Ixora felt a new emotion she had come to recognize as nervousness. She glanced at Amelia, who gave her an encouraging nod. "People of Earth," Ixora began, her translated voice ringing clear through the hall. "Today marks a new chapter in the story of our universe. For centuries, my people, the Zirenary, believed we understood the fundamental laws of evolution. We thought we could predict the course of any species' development. But you, humanity, proved us gloriously wrong." A murmur rippled through the audience as Ixora continued. "Your unpredictability, your creativity, your ability to shape your own destiny. These qualities have not only revolutionized our understanding of evolution, but have also changed us, the Zirenary, in ways we never imagined possible." Dr. Chen stepped forward, her voice filled with passion. "What we've learned through our collaboration with the Zirenary goes beyond biology or physics. We've discovered that consciousness itself is a fundamental force in the universe, capable of influencing the very fabric of reality. Our thoughts, our beliefs, our collective will. These are not just abstract concepts, but tangible forces shaping our evolution and the world around us. As Ixora and Amelia laid out the groundbreaking discoveries of their joint research, the implications began to sink in for the assembled leaders and the watching world. The revelation that humanity's potential was far greater than anyone had ever imagined sparked a mix of awe, excitement, and for some, fear. In the days and weeks that followed, debates raged across the globe. Religious leaders grappled with the theological implications of extraterrestrial life and the power of consciousness. Philosophers and ethicists struggled to redefine concepts of free will and moral responsibility in light of the new understanding of human potential. Meanwhile, the scientific community exploded with new ideas and theories. The fusion of zeronary technology with human intuition led to advancements that would have seemed like magic just a few years earlier. New fields of study emerged, blending quantum physics, genetics, and cognitive science in ways that promised to revolutionize everything from medicine to space exploration. But with these advancements came new challenges. The potential for genetic enhancement raised difficult ethical questions. If humans could consciously influence their own evolution, who would decide the direction of that evolution? How could they ensure that these powerful new abilities wouldn't exacerbate existing inequalities or lead to new forms of conflict? Ixora and her team found themselves at the center of these debates, working tirelessly to help humanity navigate this new terrain. They established joint human zeronary ethics committees, developed new educational programs to help people understand and responsibly use their newfound potential, and created safeguards to prevent the misuse of advanced technologies. As the years passed, the impact of the human zeronary collaboration spread far beyond Earth. Other alien civilizations, intrigued by the unprecedented partnership, began to reach out. The galaxy was awakening to a new era of interspecies cooperation and shared discovery. On Zeronar Prime, the changes were equally profound. Inspired by their experiences with humans, the Zeronari began to rediscover long-dormant aspects of their own nature. Art, music, and literature flourished as they embraced creativity and emotional expression. Their rigid societal structures became more flexible, allowing for greater individual variation and innovation. One day, as Ixora stood on a balcony overlooking a bustling human city, she reflected on the incredible journey of the past decade. Beside her, Amelia leaned on the railing, her hair now streaked with gray, but her eyes still bright with curiosity. "You know," Amelia said, breaking the comfortable silence, "when I was a little girl, I used to dream about aliens. I imagined them either coming to conquer us or to solve all our problems. I never imagined this." Ixora's tendrils curled in what Amelia now recognized as a smile. "Nor did I, my friend. In seeking to understand your evolution, we've evolved ourselves. Our peoples have grown together in ways I never thought possible." As they watched the sun set, painting the sky in brilliant hues, a comm device on Ixora's wrist beeped. It was a message from Zix, who was overseeing the new joint project on Mars. The first human zeronary hybrid child had just been born, a symbol of the two species' intertwined destinies. Ixora shared the news with Amelia, both of them marveling at this new milestone. As they discussed the implications, a shared thought struck them both. This was only the beginning. The universe, they realized, was vast beyond imagining, filled with wonders and possibilities they had yet to dream of. And now, with humanity's unique spark of unpredictability and the Zeronary's vast knowledge working in harmony, they were ready to explore it together. As night fell and the stars began to twinkle overhead, Ixora and Amelia stood in companionable silence, their minds and hearts reaching out to the cosmic frontier that awaited them. The next chapter in the evolution of life in the universe was about to unfold, and for the first time in history, it would be a story written by many species, working together in a grand, unpredictable, beautiful collaboration. The human anomaly that had once crashed the most powerful supercomputer in the galaxy had become the key to unlocking the true potential of life itself. As Ixora gazed up at the stars, she felt a surge of that very human emotion. Hope. Hope for the future, hope for the endless possibilities that lay ahead, and hope for the continued evolution of all conscious beings in the vast, wondrous tapestry of the cosmos.